Where were you born and when?
Okay, I was born in Croydon in 1974, and that's just slightly in Kent, on the border between Kent and London.
And is that where you spent your childhood?
No, I moved up to London when I was about 7 or 8, and I spent the rest of my years in Thamesmead, which is like southeast London.
Okay. And did you have a specific teddy bear that you remember from your childhood?
I did. When I was very young, I had a lovely teddy bear which is called Blue Ted, and he was about this big, teddy bear with his little arms out, and a little button nose, and button eyes, so I used to chew on them because I was very young. I loved him so much, I took him everywhere. I used to drag him down the street as my best friend and sleep with him, and I knew that when I went to bed, my mum would take him and wash him and then put him back into bed with me.
But do you remember how you got him?
No idea.
So you were how old were you, do you think?
Gosh. I suppose I may have been like 2 or 3. Yeah, and growing up to about like 5 or something, having him we had him for ages.
What kind of play did you play with him? Was it with other people or just...
No, it was just me and him really. Yeah.
Imagination kind of games?
Pretty much, yeah. He was like a best friend.
Did you have any brothers and sisters that you grew up with?
I do. At the time I had one older sister who was a year older, and by the time I'd grown to about 7 I had a younger brother, so he was 7 years younger.
Okay. And did you ever share your bear with them?
Not the bear, no, because he was mine. Yeah, but he had his own teddies when he was young.
Could you describe him a bit more? Do you know what material did he have fur? Or?
He was fur, yeah, and he was just standing straight. I was about this tall, if I remember right, with his little arm sticking out to the side.
And what colour was he?
Blue. Blue Ted, yeah.
Oh, I see. And how did you feel about... was it him or her?
It was him, yeah.
Was it him? How did you feel about him?
Oh, I loved him, yeah. He was my companion, my best friend, yeah.
And is he the kind of standout toy that you remember from your childhood?
As a youngster, very much, yeah.
And he was kind of a comforter, it sounds like.
He was, yeah. He was always there.
Do you still have him?
I don't, no.
Do you remember did you lose him or...?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah.
Didn't get handed down or...?
I don't think he did, no. No, it's a pity, but yeah, I don't know.
And what are your best memories of him?
Going everywhere, and at the time I had like a baseball cap, which was like an army baseball cap, and it was too big for me, and it would always come down like this, but he could wear it as well, so we had fun, yeah.
Share it with him. Okay, that's great. Did you have any other teddy bears? Just him?
No, just him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, dolls. Did you play with any dolls?
Not so much dolls, but action figures.
Action men, yeah.
Action men, yeah.
And could you tell me about them? Did you have multiple?
I did. I started off by having a little plastic one, which wasn't very good because his arm didn't bend, and he had his hair was plastic, like it was just drawn on. But then I got an action man who bends and turns and everything, so he was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But
then we got the Hulk, and the Hulk was the same as Action Man, but bigger and stronger, and so Action Man was the wimp. We had to fight him then.
Yeah. Did you play with them all together?
I did, yeah. Yeah, great fun.
And did you play these kind of games with your brothers and sisters?
No, I was a bit... Well, the problem was when my sister started playing, she decided Barbie wanted to marry Action Man, and I had no idea why, so Action Man was the wimp now, and he's gone away, so I had to fight the other guy. Yeah, so it wasn't fair, but yeah, Action Man was it's better than marrying the Hulk, because I really liked him.
And did you have a kind of idea that maybe the Barbies were the girls' toys? Did Ken almost become effeminate when he was...
She didn't have Ken, but she had a few different
Action Man, yeah.
Barbies. So she stole Action Man, and all he did was lay down all the time because he was married now, so, so he wasn't much fun. But we took his guns off him. Yeah, he didn't need them anymore.
Do you remember how you came to own these? Were they gifts or...?
Oh gosh, I think they were gifts. They were presents bought for me.
Do you ever remember unwrapping them at Christmas or?
I don't remember with the Hulk, to be honest. I think it was a birthday. Yeah, it could have been.
Do you remember any of these kind of toys being advertised or your friends having them and you kind of...
Not the Hulk, no.
No.
He was like one of a kind for me. My friend had the Action Man villain who was Dr. X or something, and he was amazing. So when we sat in the car together, he says, "Can we swap? Can I play with Hulk?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, just for this." So yeah, but he was nothing, you know. He's nothing compared to the Hulk.
Yeah.
The Hulk's brilliant.
So there's, you felt that some of these toys were better than others, or
That
more
one,
important.
yeah, he was just amazing. Yeah,
More
no
fun.
one had him.
Yeah. How important were these to you? Did you?
The Hulk was very important, and then because his answer to everything was Hulk smash. So if you wind him up, he gets mad, and then he smashes things, and that's his big power. So when I got told off, I went Hulk smash, and then I got in more trouble, and they say I've got anger issues now, and I think, well, it's the way I was brought up, you know.
So almost that play, or he kind of affected your...
He did, yeah, in a big way.
Yeah. Did you ever find that, or maybe not at the time, but now that those kind of toys were kind of violent in some way?
Looking back, yeah, I mean, today's society, they don't like kids to have guns, or, you know, I mean, there's always violence, there's always fighting. Yeah, yeah, it's always been that way, because like growing up in the 80s, like late 70s, 80s, yeah, it's always been that way, and it is now, today, it's always fighting, and for the girls it seems to be like a princess kind of way of living.
Did you kind of realise that division when you were younger with your sister? Do you find her games didn't interest you? Or
Very much, yeah.
Yeah.
She was about marriage and shopping, and she had a set which was about drinking tea, like a little, you know, tea set. So that just didn't interest me at all. There's no guns, there's nothing.
Hulk didn't take tea out of it.
No.
Do you still have any of these toys?
Unfortunately, I lost the Hulk, and I remember that day in a big way, because we had a telephone box up the top of the green, and we went in there. My mum made the phone call, and I put Hulk sitting down, and then I've gone home and I've gone, "Where's Hulk?" So we went back and he was gone.
He's gone.
Yeah. So I'd love to find him again, and then, because he's the same size as Action Man, but big and angry, and he's really good. So yeah, I'd love to see him again.
Oh, was that a sad day?
Very, yeah. I still think I used to walk up there each time we went shopping. I go, "Can we go past there again, just in case he's back?" So, yeah, it's very sad.
Oh.
You know.
And do you remember having anything to replace him, or was he kind of irreplaceable?
Yeah, nothing came close. Yeah,
You-
no, nothing. At the time, it was, you know, it was hard, because I always kind of thought, "Where's Hulk?" I mean, I'd moved on from Blue Ted, and I was now into action figures, you know, Action Men style. Yeah, yeah, but no, there was no more Hulk after that.
Did you ever have your kind of friends over to play with these things? Did they have, you mentioned in the car you had a friend, did they all play together?
That's
these?
right, we did play together, but they never really played with Hulk that much. They had their own ones, and I was always Hulk. Yeah, I loved him.
Quite protective over him.
I was,
Yeah.
yeah. I couldn't imagine being a villain. I always wanted to be the big hero that smashes things.
That's really interesting. So I guess your main toys were heroes rather than villains.
Very
and-
much, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't what's that? James Bond villain didn't
Yeah, it's not my thing.
appeal
no.
to you.
No.
It's really interesting. And let's see. And construction toys. Did you have
Wow.
any construction toys?
I did have some construction toys. I had these little ones with little black grains, like the ones which, so you drive them along and then you fill them up, like you use like a forklift to pick up these little black grains and tip them in and then move them around and then unload there. So it's just, you know, on the kitchen table, just driving around and moving bits of dirt.
Really interesting. I
good
haven't
fun.
heard of those before. Were they kind of, so I guess truck sets with...
Yeah, like a set of 5 or so, which is all, you know, like matchbox size,
Okay.
yellow construction ones, yeah.
And you used to kind of construct things with the...
just moving dirt, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Did you remember how you came to own these?
No, that was very young as well.
Yeah. Younger. Did you play with them with anyone else?
No. As a child, the toys were mainly for indoors. I mean, the stuff like Blue Ted and Hulk I could take with me, but the rest of the stuff was mainly indoors. Yeah, and my sister wouldn't play with them, so it was just me, really.
Well, these kind of construction toys sound a bit more kind of unimaginary there. Unimaginary is the wrong word. You were playing with them really literally. You were kind of bringing... So
That's
it was
right.
less, more literal kind of play.
Yeah, I mean, we had stuff like Lego, which was construction as well, and that was the stuff I played with my sister. But, you know, her ideas weren't the same as mine, whereas I'd build a little train and put guns on it so I could shoot the bad guys, but she wouldn't. Her idea was to build a house with, like, flowers outside. And I said, it's a waste of all that big green space that you could use to build a big vehicle. So, you know, yeah.
Do you think that you learnt through that kind of play?
I did. Lego was brilliant. You know, it's one of the best ones. I'd love to do it now. You know, it's that good.
Yeah, great fun.
It is.
Yes. And so was Lego your kind of... Was it a communal Lego set? Did you keep adding to it?
Yeah. Yeah, whichever set we got, we always added to it, and we just had a bucket full. So we had a bucket full of... We'd just tip it out, and everyone would just start playing. Me, my sister, and then when my brother was older, I'd have to teach him how to shoot, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask that this idea of heroes and villains, did you get that? Do you think that you maybe were inspired by stories or television that you'd been watching?
Yeah, I liked the comics of the Hulk and Spider-Man, so they were very good, very important to me. They had to have a big role.
That must have been interesting to almost have the real things after you're reading.
Yeah, it's a pity because these days they've got a lot more figures. They have a little Lego Spider-Man, and I'm like, wow, I could have done with him a few years back. Yeah.
And your Lego sets, you mentioned the flowers, and I know the flowers on... I had some. The flowers on the Lego sets were the kind of girl versions.
Yeah.
So do you remember having... Maybe your sister had her Lego. I know it was all in the same, but you noticed that those were... Did they come with the kind of pink blocks as well?
I don't remember pink blocks, but I remember there being flowers.
Yeah.
And doors and windows, which... the door wasn't much good to me.
Yeah. Do you think your sister enjoyed Lego as much as you did?
No, I don't think she did, because she let me play with it mostly, and she was, being 1 year older, she was more possessive about the stuff. So, like with Action Man, she'd see what she wants and she'd take it. So Hulk's got no one to fight. With the Lego, she kind of had her My Little Pony and Barbie and Cindy, I remember. She was lucky. She had a doll which was like this high off the floor.
A metre?
Yeah,
Wow.
really big, and she still got it. She used to put her clothes on it because it was taller than she is. So she had her doll stuff, and I had like the Lego, which I really liked.
Yeah. Did you ever bring any of these kind of toys into school?
To school, I remember taking a small pullback car, which was about the size of almost the size of my hand. At the time, it was lovely because it had doors that opened, so I could pull it back and go. And me and my friend, mine was a sports car, and his was a Jaguar, and it was like a posh car with the bonnet opens and the doors and the back. And I thought that's really nice. But as we're driving along on the walls and in the dirt, we swapped and we had to go with each other's. And I found his doors open too often, and the front keeps flipping up and the back. So I thought, no, I'd rather have my one.
You were happy with yours.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's interesting good. How much maybe children compare
Very
toys.
much, yeah.
Did you find that you played... You said sometimes you played outdoors because toys were maybe indoor kind of games. When you moved from Kent to London, did you find you played with different toys, or you played differently? Was there less outside play?
No, there was more. As I got older, I played with more. Yeah, things move on to like skateboards and bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started to travel out a bit further, whereas before it was more staying indoors. Yeah.
Do you remember your last toys before they were a bit too?
Oh wow.
Maybe you were a bit too old for them.
I think the last ones we had was a thing called M.A.S.K. Was where these little figures. There was a cartoon on TV, and there was masks that they put on, and they all shoot things or lift things or. So I got into that with my little brother. So we could both kind of collect the stuff. But then one day my mum said, "You're getting a bit old for these." I was like, "Oh!" So I gave all my toys, those ones especially, to my brother. And it was only like at the weekends when my mum's not looking. I go, "Come on, let's play for an hour."
That's really interesting. You kind of remember the age. Did you didn't feel like you wanted to stop playing with the toys?
It's very hard.
It was.
It's very hard to give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish that if it was just me as a child, we could have kept them in a box, because I hear that's what people do. But they went straight to my brother, and then when he got older, I think we've thrown them out. Yeah.
Yeah. Do your family have any toys left? You said your sister still has them.
Well, unfortunately, she did have, but we don't. I'm the last one left of the family, so the rest have gone.
Do you have any other toys that you want to talk about?
At the moment, or in the past? At the moment.
Yeah, at the moment. Do you have any? No. But in the past?
Oh wow! I think Star Wars was very important. Yeah, all the way through. Yeah, it's great fun to play.
Was that action figures or?
Little action figures, yeah, in the 80s, and the Millennium Falcon was like this big. It was huge, and it was, you can't really play with a toy that big and like run around the rooms much, but you can park it, and all the men get in and out.
Can you describe it? Was it plastic?
Oh, it was plastic, yeah, and it had like a part on the round part which lifts off and then comes back on. Yeah. I've seen them today in the shops, and I've seen there's really expensive. There's like Lego versions for like £80. So yeah, we couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it these days. There's so many toys.
Did you remember any toys that you weren't allowed, or they were too expensive that you?
I do, yeah. Another one was Transformers, and there was the main big guy, Optimus Prime, who everyone had. But the main bad guy was Megatron, and they didn't sell him. He was £80, I think, at the time, but all you could see was a picture of him in the Argos, and no one had him. None of my friends, I think it was so he was going to be the rare one, and now today he must be worth like hundreds of pounds.
Yeah. You mentioned the Argos catalogue. Do you remember flicking through that
as
a toy?
All the time. Yeah, it was to see what I couldn't afford, but I could always dream of. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember too. Do you remember? Because I know I used to open the Argos catalogue, maybe in the boy part, and think, oh, not interested. And then, do you remember the kind of, because there's sections, isn't there?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember looking at the girls' stuff and thinking, it's just Barbie and stuff, and I found her smile a bit annoying and a great big long neck. The more I looked at it, I thought, she's a strange chick. Yeah. And she doesn't bend as much as Action Man. She only bends slightly. Was it the arms or the legs? So it's, she's very robotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Star Wars toys. Did you see the films, and then was that? Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I saw the films. I loved them. Yeah, it was brilliant, good fun, and I like the new ones as well. Even though the old ones, I feel better because I had the toys for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always loved Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that being a kind of craze with your friends as well?
At the time I was quite young too, so it was mainly me playing, and then when my brother got older, we could play together. But that wasn't, for too long.
Yeah.
And then I was out of the toys. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember any particular crazes of toys that maybe everyone had to have and everyone had at school and you all really wanted?
I know marbles was very big to me because we used to play that in the playground. Once one person starts bringing in their marbles, we all got a little bag and we could all go in and see how many we could win for the day. Yeah, they were special and they were good.
And you played that? Did you play those at home as well? Did you
I did,
make?
yeah. I taught my little brother.
Oh.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Did you construct any kind of flumes that they might go down, or was it just the kind of the game?
No, it was the game of marbles.
Okay. Can you describe that? If I don't know.
Well, we could either play it as 1 against 1, and you kind of move to the side and you try and hit the other one, and if you hit it, you win it. Or the other one we played was like bowls, where we roll one down towards the wall and then we try and get our balls as close to it. So we each have about 5 bowls and we try to see who's closest. And that was good fun too.
Did you play it on the playground?
We did, yeah. And there were like 2 different styles. We had that one where you flick it, and then we had this other one which was French or something, where you pick the marble up and put your thumb down, and then you pull back and you flick it. So we got, this one was much better. It was for, once we got into it, it's great to aim like that and then have it hit and go, it's amazing.
It's really cool. I've never heard of that game. And were you allowed to do these kind of things at school? I know
We
maybe
were.
schools and children these days are a bit
Yeah,
more...
it was in primary school. So I was about 9 or 10, so I think that was a good age for marbles.
And is there anything else any other toys you can remember that you want to talk about?
Wow. I think they're the main ones. Yeah, they're my favourites.
Do you think that you have a good memory? You seem to have a really amazing memory of all of your toys. Is that because they meant a lot to you?
They
it's an important
did.
part of your childhood.
Yeah. That was the most important part. Yeah, I think that was probably more important than family at times. Was having my toys, because they meant the world to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blue Ted was almost like my partner, like a wife or a husband or something. The 2 of us. Yeah. Giving them up was really difficult. That's why if I could find them now, I'd buy them, and just to put them at the side, just to feel them again.
It's a real memory as well, I guess. If
it
you
is.
Have that trigger, you'd be remembering those things.
Yeah, they're very good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.